ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Double RT Boxing Show, the Ready Talk Boxing Show. I am your host, Mr.A. Thank you for your time and support. Thank you for stepping into the boxing sanctuary, the boxing rehab for us boxing junkies. To make you feel comfortable, I will start off today's session. I am Mr.A. and I am addicted to ring generalship. Feel free to sign in at the front desk whenever you're comfortable. Now, in today's session, we are talking about, is the monster going to get KO'd? Is the monster going to get KO'd in the near future? Is there a rematch with Donaire, who broke his orbital bone? Is there a unification with John Ryall, Umbali? Who knows? But no, that's not quite exactly what we have in mind here, folks. Inoue could get KO'd none other than by the strict, unorthodox, unpredictable American boxing audience. And because we all know Inoue is the goods in the ring, and anyone can get knocked out. But the reason I say this, again, this is the Ready Talk Boxing Show, so that's what we do here. Mr. A's thoughts. Thank you for your time and support. You look at Inoue's future. He's on Top Rank, an American distribution, ESPN American distribution partnership. And the whole network, straight get to it, it's gonna be fucking pissing contest for Inoue to get all the fights we want him to get. And in saying so, and realistically, the fights we want him to get, and I thought there possibly was a chance that he could have got the Obali with the whole visa then turned out to be COVID issue, with Obali pulling out and Donito and Rodriguez fighting. I thought it was for like an interim, and as it turns out to be, no, because Obali got COVID, they took his belt away and made him champion in recess. And now Donaire and Rodriguez is going to actually fight for that title, which still gives that possibility of a John Ryall and that winner as a unification. If we're gonna talk networks, affiliations, Top Rank, PBC, Matchroom, we're gonna talk all that in the Boxing Talk on the Ready Talk Boxing Show, then that's a heavy key point. With Obali being unfortunate with his health issues, your belt's taken away. The WBC does strange shit, I say. It's just strange fucking shit. Canelo gets stripped, I believe, or he threw the fucking belt away. Benavidez, that's what it is. Benavidez gets busted with coke in its off time. He gets stripped. Spence gets drunk and crashes his car, keeps his belt. Obali gets fucking a health scare, he gets stripped. WBC. But that being said, him being now a champion in recess is like, okay, 2 belts over there. Inoue has the WBA, the IBF. Where is he gonna go? If his career with Top Rank, it's Maloney and Josh Greer. And they've been building up Josh Greer Jr. for Inoue. Why do you think they even signed the Maloney twins? It wasn't for the both of them. It was for Inoue. They needed opponents for Inoue. That's why they went and signed the Maloney boys. Which one was it? Is it Jason for Inoue, but Andrew came as a bonus. Or if I got it backwards, sorry, look in the mirror. And then, so him already knocking out one of their Top Rank don't got a deep bantamweight stable. They were kind of banking on him just mashing up with John Riel. That whole PBC little flip flop, the coin, that threw a major wrench in this plan for Inoue in his American debut, because even though now I keep saying American debut, it should be the ESPN Top Rank Bill debut, because he was on the HBO, and even then that didn't draw too much. You know, he didn't, for the hype he came over here with, and then people had no idea who the hell I believe he fought Avilas. You know, the American audience didn't know who that dude was, and this so-called monster, you know, went like 6 or 7 rounds with him and wasn't too highlighted. I think he might have finished him pretty well, but the fight wasn't what the hype, I guess, the casual American audience heard. So take that how you will. And coming here, defeating Maloney, and then Josh Greer, who got pretty well upset in that last fight, and then a draw in this coming fight in 8 rounds. It's not looking too good as, hey, this is who Inoue's gonna fight next. So you can take Josh Greer for what it is, and like I said, I wanted Josh Greer Jr. to be our American representative in the WBSS. So it's not against him. You know, I'm actually a good fan of him. I'm hoping he beats Inoue. Just, you know, just to keep the belts in America. You know, do I highly think it's possible? Probably not. Inoue's probably gonna knock him out. But I'm rooting for Josh Greer. Now that being said, he's not looking well. He got highly welly upset in his last fight. He got a 8-round sadly draw, so not looking well. And then you leave the PBC most likely not going to give him the fights that we want, the unification bouts. So that leaves the WBA and his IBF. You know, the IBF, they're going to give him a mandatory. If he ain't going to draw no big fight to make them oddly push back something, he's going to be fighting his mandatories. WBA and the IBF. Now, him being WA, again, this is a American audience appeal. This is what you got to win over. I would have been throwing the money. His Japanese partners, I would have been going for Rigo. Him being the regular champion. He's I'm about to show you why I'm picking Rigo. Again, this is an American audience, and Rigo is probably the named, accomplished, threat, value, all that the above. Because these rest of the names we're going to talk about, they're going to be just as equal, if not less, to the casual person where every elite athlete is trying to reach, you know? So, again, I would win for Rigo just for the fact that he's the well-known for the American audience. Boxing fans, especially boxing fans, you know, even though boxing fans know Inoue, if he keeps fighting nobody, you know, you fought Jason Maloney, now who? You know, now who? No one really talks about his HBO fight because they don't remember who it was. You fought Jason Maloney, you got a great knockout. Where's the ball rolling to now? Not Rigo, because I thought it could have been Rigo, but who the hell is Rigo just connected to? It was just recently connected. Is it Casamayor? He's connected to. I think he might be connected to that, but don't hold me to. But he's connected to something that Inoue can't be, and I think it could be that fight. So that's out of the ballpark. And then you have his WBA. We look at it. Number 1, Raymar Balo, Sorry about the pronunciations. Rashid Warren, Emmanuel Plague. You know, ain't none of those pushing the needle. We've seen Rashid Warren in the American fan base. Like that, this is for American movement. Move the American needle. You know, you got to move that needle. And the American audience boxing, YouTube, who like the junkies who are watching this video, I doubt if we are high off these names. You know, number 1, Abalo, 2, Warren, 3, Emmanuel Plague. We've seen Warren go 2 back and forth fights with Pano, and when we seen what Inoue did with Pano. So is anyone really gonna get excited when you try to sell that fight on those highlights? Oh, this is who Rashid Warren is. You know, he went back and forth with I can't even think his name. Plague got me Pano. You know, Emmanuel Plague got me all mixed up with the names, but he went back and forth with this dude. He got knocked out in the WBS 1 round. So that's gonna be a hard selling point on that. Emmanuel Plague, 17-0. I forgot where he's from. The American audience don't know this cat. He got his name from going a draw with the IBF, who's number 1, who's probably going to be a mandatory, Michael Desmarian, the Filipino cat. You know, checking him out. He seemed, if there's anyone here, you know, didn't quite follow the career of, or look into the WBA number 1, Raymond Gaballo, but Michael, the IBF number 1, Michael Desmarzini, he, if you want to say anything, and what we do on the WRT Boxing Show, we do follow the rankings because we're junkies. He beat, when it was time for him to step up in his career, he beat a ranked fighter at number 13, Kareem Karifi, who the number 5 guy, Lee McGregor, you see, was who he's fighting. So you can scratch him off the list, you know, for the IBF Inoue fights. Number 4, Kaneda Kohara, you can make a storyline in it because he's fighting Inoue's brother January 14th. So if he beats him, you can make a storyline out of that. Then you got number 3, Paul Butler. Again, that's a name fight, but as the American audience gonna give a fuck about Inoue and Paul Butler. Then that American audience ain't gonna care that Paul Butler was a former champion. We don't former champion. Who did he beat? He beats people we never heard of. We don't give a fuck about Paul Butler. It's gonna be a tough sell. Number 2 in the IBF, you know how the IBF rolls. Number 1 and number 2 are empty for eliminators, and that lets you know if Michael Desmarnez, if he's number 1, he's already won that eliminator. That's what that lets you know. And like I said, when it was time for him to step up, he beat Kareem Garafi. I think he was like number 13 at that time, and looking into his career. Then he beat another a fight, looking into that, a fight he wasn't supposed to win. And then that's how he got that number 1. Make it who the competition was, who you want to say it is, your opinion on them. We get it, but it's our sport. The rankings are there. It gives people the shots. It gives people the shots, you know. And he earned his shot through the numbers. But is American audience going to turn and say, let's rock with Michael? You know, power in both hands decently, but he's going to get knocked out by Inoue. None of these fighters that we named off is going to be entertaining for American audience to gravitate towards Inoue. So if Bob Arum's coming out here saying he's losing money on Terrence Crawford, what is going to happen? How quick is the American audience going to lose fact in Inoue, or less Inoue is just going to start knocking people out, which he probably has a good ratio of doing, or a good chance of doing, and the American audience will gravitate to that. Now, before we close the door in this session and wish you luck out there, us boxing junkies, we need all the luck we can get. Thank you for stopping in. Again, feel free to sign in at the front desk on your way out. We will say Inoue has a chance to be here by American Needle movement on television because Asian support, especially the Japanese support that's over here. In all sports, you have seen the country of Japan, the Japanese in America support their country. Whether it's Yao Ming, whether it's I think his name was Izuki, the Seattle Mariners, the Yankees pitcher, the heavyset guy, and then now just recently all over in baseball, when there's like a hot-studded Japanese player from their league over in America, the Japanese fan supports their man, so that will always have that chance of keeping him on TV by moving the American needle. That way, that's a chance he might be successful by the Japanese fan base in America. But as of we don't know. So like I said, we leave it on a positive note. But there is a chance that the monster is going to suffer a KO kind of shortly in his career. Thank you for your time and support. This is the Developers Podcast.